We're going to continue our coverage of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, this follows nearly half a century of conflict and a concerted campaign by anti-abortion groups. Long before this weekend's protests, we have seen violence against abortion clinics and the providers, too, and frequently vicious is the word, harassment of women seeking abortions. There has also been a relentless effort to change the landscape politically in Congress, legislatures, and the courts. Jan Crawford takes a look at how we got here.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions.
In 1973, Roe v. Wade was a bombshell.
The anti-abortion laws of 46 states were rendered unconstitutional.
4 states had only recently passed laws legalizing some form of abortion, while 13 others had begun allowing it with restrictions. By stepping in to make abortion legal nationwide, some justices at the time hoped the decision would end the debate over abortion rights. But the anti-abortion rights movement mobilized almost immediately, beginning first at the grassroots level.
This is the first March for Life, and that was a year exactly after Roe came down.
Exactly.
Jeannie Mancini is president of March for Life.
The march has grown younger and bigger almost every single year.
How important has it been to have that yearly reminder that we're still here?
I can't think of a more symbolic picture of Roe not being settled law than seeing the growing number of marchers.
That social movement became more strategic in 1992.
Today, 3 Reagan-Bush appointees stabbed the pro-life movement in the back.
The Supreme Court was poised to overturn Roe by a 5-4 vote until a last-minute switch by Justice Anthony Kennedy, who joined fellow Republican nominees Sandra Day O'Connor and David Souter to save it.
That moment in 1992 was deeply disappointing. It also helped me understand how much we could depend upon Republicans.
Which is how much?
Which is not much. That was the point where we realized unless we strengthen this political arm at the center of the movement, we will continue to lose.
Within months, Marjorie Dannenfelser, who's been called the woman who killed Roe, founded that political organization, Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America.
Every time there was a devastating blow, the pro-life movement grew. That is the mark of a successful movement.
The next devastating blow came in the 2000s.
I would welcome a circumstance where there was such a consensus in this country that we said we don't want to have abortion in this country at all. But that's not where we are.
When Dannenfelser said Republicans paid lip service to the movement and lost the presidency twice.
We said, no way is this ever going to happen again. We're going to reward our friends, punish our political enemies.
In 2014, the group helped defeat several pro-abortion rights senators from battleground states, and in 2016 got assurances from Donald Trump.
The justices that I'm going to appoint will be pro-life. They will have a conservative bent.
And that is why we are here today talking about the overturn of Roe v. Wade.
Activists on the left joined in the fight, arguing abortion bans put lives in danger and pouring millions of dollars into recruiting and supporting candidates. But this court decision has some admitting they've fallen short.
This is a concerted, coordinated effort. And yes, they're winning.
A conservative legal movement spent the decades since Roe promoting politicians and legal scholars who believed it was not the role of judges to create new rights in the Constitution, including abortion rights. President Trump succeeded in nominating 3 to the Supreme Court.
I'm very proud that Roe v. Wade is now gone.
I didn't think it would happen in my lifetime.
You didn't think it would?
It's a total historic moment in our country's history. And yet, it's not, as I said, it's not the end.
Now, as for that next step, there's a plan to take the fight to the state legislatures to continue to push for more restrictions, even at the federal level, a prohibition on those mail-order abortion pills.
Well, you know, Jen, we all had a heads up with that leaked draft, but I thought it was interesting that you said last half hour that even though we had the heads up, people on both sides were surprised. It didn't matter where you stood, you were surprised. It was sort of jaw-dropping no matter what you felt. Why do you think we were so surprised?
I just think Roe has been with us for a generation or more of women, and The court came so close to overturning it in 1992, fell one vote short. Many people thought the issue was over. And so I think there was some complacency. And the question now is, because people were surprised, what does that mean for these women? You know, the states that are most likely to ban abortion or restrict abortion are states where women are in most need. So what are the programs there for these women? Obviously, the anti-abortion groups say they're working, their programs are already in place in a number of states. Governors, we saw Governor Noem on Face the Nation yesterday saying she has a website trying to get resources for pregnant women who no longer can access abortion. Are those programs going to be enough? Are they going to work? Are we, the media and others, going to continue the focus on these women who now, right now, don't have the health care they need before the decision on Friday?
Yeah, Jan, picking up on the subject of surprise, you've covered personally the Supreme Court for almost 30 years. You've got a best-selling book on the topic. There are a few people more authoritative. You've interviewed 4 or 5 justices sitting on the court now. Did anything in this process surprise you?
No. No. I mean, as we saw in the piece, there's been an orchestrated campaign to try to get more conservative judges on the courts that have conservative legal philosophies, and that's what they've done. I mean, these judges believe that you read the Constitution very narrowly. Liberal judges believe you should read it more expansively. And so I think the writing was on the wall, and that's why Republicans have spent so much effort trying to get the Senate. And here's what the result was today, or Friday.
There it is.
All right, Jan, thank you very much. More to come for sure.